You know, there's nothing like Google Photos to send you a memory of yourself to remind you of how horrible you used to look or how bad you got a trend. And I was looking back at a memory because I get them almost every day. Old photos of myself where I'm just like, what was I thinking? And a lot of these photos were photos that were years ago, but so many things that have changed on my face or changed in my look. And I was like, you know what? I basically Looksmaxxed without actually having any kind of surgery or procedure. So here you go. 8 things that I did to Looksmaxx without having surgery or any kind of procedure. So just a disclaimer, this is not really a suggestion. It's kind of just me telling you what I've done. And honestly, do with that whatever you want. Take my advice. It's not really advice. I'm not going to say it's advice. So don't blame me if something doesn't work for you. But I think this should all work for you. I think you guys will like this. I thought I'd just something that I should share with you guys that was on my mind to share with you. And just a disclaimer, I've never had any kind of plastic surgery to my face. I have had like injectables before, but I actually haven't had Botox in almost 3 years. And I mean, that's evident, isn't it, by all the movement going on in my eyebrows. When I did get Botox, I actually wanted to make sure that it was frozen. I would even tell the injector, listen, I'm an actor, I'm on stage, all the stuff, but listen, I don't have anything coming up, so I want it to be frozen. There's no reason that my forehead should move. I don't want my brows to move. And they didn't really like that, but whatever. I like to be completely frozen. But yeah, I haven't had any kind of procedure. But I'm not against it, and I probably will pretty soon, just for like maintenance purposes, get like some Botox or something. But what's so interesting is there's, you know, all this movement here and no static lines on my forehead, but I don't have like 11s. I have like sideways 11s, like the lines going across, which is kind of funny. So yeah, pretty soon I'm gonna have to get some Botox just for my liking. So here you go. The number one thing that I do that changed the way that I look, that basically I think upped my look, is training. I go to the gym. A lot of you, if you follow me, you know that I go to the gym almost every day. I would say 5 to 7 times a week. Training for me is a huge thing. I'm one of those people that I gain weight in the good places, like my boobs or my butt, first, but also in my face. So if I've gained weight, it always shows up on my face. If I lose weight, it shows up on my face. And it's a struggle for me because sometimes I have to decide whether I want a fat ass or or a fat face. A fat ass or a skinny face, I should say. And to be quite honest with you, I want both. Don't we all want both? But my face definitely shows up, especially in my cheeks, that I've gained weight first. And so I just have to stay on top of my fitness. Usually if my body is in top, like in the top of where I want it to be, shape, in tip-top shape, I should say, then my face is where I want it to be also. If I've gained a little weight and I'm a little bit thicker, even if I like it, my face always looks thicker too. And when I gain weight, people always see it in my face, like, wow, yeah, you put on a little weight, or wow, you lost weight. And it's always in my face first. I don't know why it's like that. I wish it wasn't. I wish there was a way that I could gain weight in other places or lose weight in other places. And, you know, will lose it in my face and lose it permanently. But that's just not the way that it is. But I work out a lot. And I either go to the gym every day or I do something that's active. I'll go for walks around my neighborhood. Walking for me is a big thing, getting those steps in. I don't really count my steps, but I do walk a lot. If the weather is bad, then I'll just do it on the treadmill. I'm not really a runner, but working out for me is a very big thing and changed a lot of the way that my face looks. And it changes a lot here and there. It's up or down, and I have to stay on top of it because I know that if I gain weight anywhere else, it's also gonna go on my face. And sometimes I'm okay with that. Usually around the time that I have like a performance coming up, I will basically start like crash dieting, and I'm not going to get into that. I've talked about that on here before. I don't really recommend it, but it works for me. So yeah, the number one thing that I do is work out. Working out does wonders for your face. So if you are someone that wants to, maximize the potential of what your face could look like, start with working out. You'll see changes in your face, especially if you're someone that tends to gain weight in your face very easily. All right, the second thing that I do is my diet. I'm not on a diet, but my diet in general, like what I eat, has a big effect on my face and my skin. It has a big effect on everyone's face and skin. They used to say you are what you eat, or they say that. But it's very true. I don't eat meat. I'm not saying don't eat meat, but my skin changed when I stopped eating meat. I had really bad acne as a teenager, and then I would have adult acne brought on from hormones or from just like natural hormones, or just me being trans and taking hormones. That changed a lot of how my skin is. And so, for example, if I eat a lot of sugar, and I have a candy addiction, so sugar is inevitable, my face will be a lot more puffy. And when I try to have something green every day, because that's really good for your skin, but there can be so much inflammation. I've heard people say that, drinking sodas, their face changes when they drink a lot of sodas. I actually don't drink sodas. I actually don't drink anything other than water and coffee. That on a daily basis, you will see me drinking water. You guys have probably seen this cup that a fan made for me years ago. I drink out of this all day, every day. I take it to the gym with me. That's all I do, is I drink so much water. So I'm constantly flushing the toxins out of my body, therefore out of my face. But also, I don't drink sodas, and I don't even drink juices. A lot of those are high in sugar. I prefer to just drink water. That's just something for my own taste. If I go to dinner, you don't see me ordering like a soda or a tea. I actually don't drink sodas. Sodas burn my throat. And I recently tasted a soda, a Coke Zero, for the first time in probably, 10 years. Like acid. I don't know how people drink that. But beyond the taste, I heard someone recently say that they were drinking like soda all day, like 3 or 4 sodas a day, and they stopped drinking it, and it changed the way their face looked. And I was like, wow, that's very interesting. Because when I did drink things other than water, my face would be puffy. And when I'm eating something bad, like bad sugary or high in fat food, like my face, besides the weight gain, my face gets really like puffy. And that makes a huge difference. I also believe in having your skincare from within, whether it be proteins and collagen. All of those things help with your skin, and foods that are high in protein or any kind of collagens or any kind of supplements like that, those are really good for you. And like I said before, always something green. I have to have something green every day, whether it's a salad or something that is a vegetable. I love vegetables. I love fruit. They help with any kind of like inflammation or any kind of puffiness in your face, and that makes a big difference in the way that I look. Years ago, before I stopped eating meat, I would eat anything. And I had days where I would be like, in multiple days, where I would like pig out on junk food, or I would pig out on, like I would order a pizza. And it would be filled with, to me, a pizza wasn't a pizza if it didn't have everything on it. Every kind of meat, some vegetables, lots of cheese, and I'm just pounding that in my mouth. And like, I just, so happy that I don't do that anymore. And nor do I have the desire for it anymore. I think once you start eating well, you stop craving things that are bad for you, but it made such a huge difference in the way that I look. Now, the third way that I naturally Looksmaxxed is probably the biggest thing on this list. It's a huge thing because it's such a huge part of my look. For me, it's probably the biggest thing on here is my makeup. My makeup, I don't know what I was doing in the past. It's crazy. I used to have on crazy color eyeshadows and like the placement of my eyeshadow and these giant thick eyebrows with a heavy concealer underneath carved out, like the thick blocked out eyebrows. And then I would do like this super like really bright inner eye, which I still do, but it was just really heavy and super glittery and frosty. And I know that it was kind of like the times, like the 2010s just were that way, but that was like the makeup trends, but I just took it to another level, and I would have heavy makeup on even if I were in the gym. Like even if I were in the gym, the hair, the makeup was always like really heavy. I used to contour my nose very heavy. I don't contour my nose at all. I know it probably looks like to you. I'll highlight with a concealer there. I do not contour those lines going down the sides of my nose. I hate that now. And I look back at my makeup both on stage and off stage, and I'm like from the past, and I'm like, what was I thinking? And people used to say, oh my God, you're so pretty back then, and say all kinds of stuff. And I'm just thinking to myself, what? Are we looking at the same person now that I look back? I never thought that I was ugly, but it's just like the makeup was on like 1,000. And now my makeup is softer, and not even like, it's not as heavy. It's just the placement of things, whether it's where I place a blush or how I, fill in my brows, or, the placement of eyeshadow or how much eyeshadow I'm wearing on a daily basis. Crazy. The colors, all of that. It was nothing for me to have a smoked out eye in the gym. It was nothing for me to have like heavy eyeliner or to have on like green eyeshadow to match my workout clothes or just wherever I'm going. And it's just funny. It's not my style anymore. It's also like not makeup trends anymore, but it's also like, I didn't understand my face. Even being a former makeup artist, I didn't understand my face the way that I do now, and the effects and the way that makeup can change the shape of your face. The heavy contour that I used to wear all the time on my cheeks and jawline and all of that, and it was just out of this world. And when I look back at it now, I just kind of think to myself, like, even on stage, my makeup placement is different. And I would sometimes wear stage makeup or nothing would be different other than maybe like the size of the lash on and off stage. And now it's very different. Like today, my makeup, I wouldn't say I have on less makeup, but the placement is different and softer colors. I do have on less makeup, but like softer colors, not just crazy colors or anything like that. And it just works for me. I think I look younger now than I did back then. And then also with all the other things that I've done to my face, which I'll get into some more of that, the ways that my face have changed, so did my makeup. I will tell you, hormones and testosterone blockers change my face a lot. If I go off of them, you can see it more than you do than me just getting on them. I'm just one of those people that my face responds heavily to hormones. And the same is true for even, biological women who have taken, or have been pregnant, I should say. Your hormones are going crazy, or your nose spreads. It's the same. It's the same all around. And also the same thing with men. When they have heavier testosterone, their face looks more chiseled. And, that definitely plays a part in it. And then that caused me to place makeup in different places, whereas I might have put like heavier blush, like on the outside and a heavy contour. Now my blush is applied to the apples of the cheek or a little bit higher, and trends have changed also. It's just the makeup is probably the biggest thing. And I could probably talk about that on and on. Like today, I do have on lashes, but they're a little bit lighter lash, and it changes all the time depending on my mood, depending on where I'm going. I do wear makeup every day. It's just a part of my look. I'm a glamorous girl. But if I were going like out to dinner or I was going out to see people, I probably would have on a little bit heavier makeup, but not like it was. The pictures you see on the screen, absolutely crazy. And I have thousands of them. And I can always tell what era of my life I was in by just how my makeup looked. And then also seeing other pictures. And then it was just crazy because it was just nuts how I think I would have that crazy makeup on, and then these horrible Snapchat filters. I don't know what they were doing. We would look like aliens. And on top of the makeup and that blocked up eyebrow, and like I said, trends change. So I should not be as hard on myself, but I cringe when I look at it now. I do. So yeah, it's the makeup, big part. Incidentally, I run into people who I haven't seen in a long time that are like, what are you doing? What did you have done? Did you do things? Because they think that I've done something, did you get your nose done? Did you get what all of you had done? And I also think that because I'm trans, people just expect that I've probably done a lot. And I've had no plastic surgery to my face. But I think people that knew me before, that have seen me before, it's just, I've gotten older and, weight gain or weight change. And also with makeup, it's just, a huge thing. But yeah, makeup was a big part of my life, but it's a very big part of Looksmaxxing for me. But to be honest with you, makeup doesn't matter at all if you're not taking care of your skin, which brings me to point number 4, skincare. I won't spend a lot of time on this because I don't have actual products to share with you, but I will tell you that since I was 19 years old, I've used eye cream. Because I was a makeup artist very young, and I used to also sell skincare, and I was always telling older women about how to use eye cream to avoid wrinkles and lines around your eyes. So the one thing I've always used is slathered eye cream around my eyes. I don't have bags around my eyes, I don't have lines around my eyes, and I don't have any darkness around my eyes at all. And if anything, I will smoke in something to give a little darkness there with makeup. But that's my biggest thing, eye cream, eye cream, eye cream, eye cream, because your eyes are the first things to wrinkle because there are no oil glands or any kind of thing to provide moisture around your eyes the same way they are on your face. So eyes age first. So there's that. But I will tell you a really big hack of mine with skincare is I do my skincare every night no matter what. I don't sleep in makeup. I wash off the makeup. I double cleanse my skin, and I slather my face with oils. I am like oiled up. I believe in oils anyway, but I oil my face so much. And it's funny because coming from someone who was an oily skinned teenager and had like acne, not terrible acne, but the regular amount of acne that a teenager would have, I was always trying to dry my face out. I would use like pure alcohol on my face. And sleeping in oils, oh my God, changed my skin so much. And I always say you could paint a brick, but it's still gonna look like brick underneath, So putting makeup on top of bad skin is a no-no for me. I take care of my skin no matter what. And slathering the oils is a huge thing for me. So skincare is a big part of it for me. And I will also slather oil on my face when I first wake up in the morning, like while I'm having my coffee or, if I eat breakfast, I will, or while I'm watching like my morning YouTube stuff that I watch on YouTube. No need to get into that. But I will slather my skin in oils. And the reason for that is because of number 5, which is gua sha. Gua sha is something that I got into probably like a year or 2 ago. And I slather my face in oils in the morning. I told you that. But the lymphatic drainage is a huge thing. You wake up puffy in the morning. I do lymphatic massages right here on your lymph nodes here. And then I'll do that for like a little bit, like 10 seconds or 10 times, whatever. And then I'll take a gua sha, which is, mine is actually made of metal, but they have them made of stone. And I will either use that or my microcurrent to help to depuff my face and get the lymph nodes and all the lymphatic drainage there. I'll do a lymphatic stretch with my body, moving my body and stretching in the morning, but also, especially with the gua sha and going down the contours of my face and getting all that lymphatic drainage from your face, it makes the biggest difference. It is not like a placebo thing. It really does work. And everyone who uses it knows what I'm talking about. But getting that out and draining it towards your lymph nodes really does help. And it's obviously easier to do once you have oils on your skin. So I do that. And then in the morning, like after I've had my coffee and I've done the gua sha and all that stuff, then I'll wash my face and do my, in the shower, all that. And then do my makeup. And it just really makes a big difference in the way that your face looks. Looking puffy, looking like you just woke up is not, we want to look well rested, but we don't want to look like we just woke up. But also the lymph nodes, I mean, I don't know the exact science, and I mean, I've read about it, but I won't get into that right now. But it makes a big difference in the puffiness of your face. And there have been times where I thought like, oh, my face looks fat today. And it was because I didn't do the gua sha. It's not actually that my face is fat. It's just holding on to a lot of excess water. That's it. All right, number 6 is a quick one. I have gotten into the habit, I don't have it in right now because obviously I'm on camera, but chewing gum. I've gotten into the habit of chewing gum because that exercises your jaw and it helps to oil your jaw and help to give a more chiseled look. This is really good, especially for men who want a heavier jaw. Or like a more pronounced, not even heavier jaw, because it's not going to give you a heavier jaw. It gives you more of a contour to your jawline. It's funny how men and women, we all want like more defined jaw lines, you know? And so that really does help. And so I just will chew gum, and not just for, you know, my jaw, but it's also really good for your teeth. I have a friend who's a dentist, and I've had other dentists tell me that chewing Orbit actually helps with your teeth. It's actually really good for your teeth, especially after you've had a meal. Like, it helps to get the, like, if you can't floss, chewing gum after that. And I used to hate the look of chewing gum, but now I'm kind of over that. Like, it really helps to have your jaw like moving around and all that. But apparently chewing gum, specifically like Orbit, it's also sugar-free, is really good for your teeth. So those Orbit commercials were actually right. Which brings me to my next point. Speaking of teeth, number 7. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I used to have very crowded teeth, and I did Invisalign. 44 weeks, actually, of Invisalign. And my teeth used to be crowded like this. They were just on top of each other. And it was something that my teeth had been like since I was a kid, and it never got corrected. And it's so wild when I look back at old photos, especially old videos, because there are not a lot of photos because I would smile in a way or make sure that my teeth were not showing in a photo. I even got into a habit of talking like I'm doing right now and not showing my bottom teeth. But now I feel free to do it because I got my teeth fixed. And it's interesting how that upped my looks. Like I mean, I think it took my looks to up at least about 40 points. I don't know. But it really did change the way that I look. It changed the shape of my face, moving my teeth into the proper position. And also it changed the way that I speak, the way that I move my mouth. Not just because I was trying to hide my bottom teeth, but just the way my jaw would move. I look back at old videos and I'm like, wow, I didn't even realize it. How it changed the way that I talk. My diction is a little bit better. I don't twist up my words or lisp my words as much anymore because it even changed the shape of my tongue because my tongue was shaped like my teeth. So yeah, it did a huge number for the way that I look, especially the shape of my face. My jaw is different. The way my teeth hit each other are different. So absolutely, that is a big one. That's probably just as big as the makeup, and just also aesthetically, having straight teeth definitely changed the way that I look and made me look, in my opinion, much better. All right, so the next thing on the list, this is number 8. I basically, this is a funny one for me because I don't know what I was thinking when I look back at these old photos. When I look back at those photos that I mentioned that Google sends all the time, because rarely am I looking through my phone at these old photos because I don't want to be reminded. And sometimes I'll see a photo on Google and I'm just like, oh, don't remind me of this again, like remove this photo permanently. Is hair. Hair. Now, I will tell you, no matter whether it was real or fake, I've always had some good hair. I've always had good, like I thought at least, like my hair always looked great. I come from a family where of a lot of hairstylists, and, you know, hair is a big thing, you know, not just in my family, but in the Black community, period, especially Black women and our hair. But let me tell you, the quality of wigs that I used to wear versus the quality of wigs that I wear now, and not just wigs, also my real hair, whether it was the quality of wigs or me wearing my natural hairline, or my natural hair at all, changed so much of the way that I look. I look back at these old photos, look at these pictures where I had these dark roots. I would have like 4 inches of dark root and on this blonde hair, and it would be like jet black, you know, jet black root and this platinum blonde hair. It was just, I don't know what I was thinking. And then the wig, the lace was always, no matter what you do to lace, like you sometimes can't get it to not show, but sometimes it was not HD lace, and it was just awful. And it's funny because I was wearing lace front wigs back before anybody even knew what they were, back when I had to order them from China and they were thousands of dollars. Back when RuPaul, Beyonce, and Tyra Banks and Star Jones were the only people wearing a lace front wig other than in movies and on television, you know, like, well, in movies, but like on a daily basis. And people would be like, what is that though? Like, people did not understand. And so when they start selling them in beauty supply stores and they went mainstream or selling them whatever, but they were not HD. And now I won't put a wig on my head if it's not HD lace. Like, if it's detectable lace, I don't want to see it. But not just that. Also got more into wearing my own hair and my own hair line. I missed seeing it and wanted to breathe, and I pulled back my my headband a little bit. But yeah, just feeling freer and not having a wig on my hair. And it changed a lot of the way that I look, for sure. Nothing's worse than a bad wig on anybody. So hair definitely was a very big part, upping the quality of hair that I purchase and taking really good care of my own hair, which is the same as, it's funny how, you know, I've talked about this before, but most of the time when I'm wearing a wig or my real hair, people don't know whether it's the real hair or not. My real hair does look a lot like my wigs. And that's by design, obviously. Obviously, I'm a Beyonce impersonator, so my hair is blonde. Real and fake, even though I don't wear my real hair on stage usually. But the point is, quality of wigs, quality of hair, and, you know, taking good care of my own hair made a very big difference in the way that I look. Now, this last thing is actually kind of a bonus point. Stress. Stress shows up on your face. I don't care who you are. I don't care how much Botox you have. Stress shows up on in your skin. Stress shows up on your face. The thing, and it's not just like what's going on in your life. You know, eliminating as much stress as possible. Sometimes it's not possible to eliminate all of it. But what I consume on social media, I have gone through my algorithm and taken out everything that I don't want to see, that are things that stress me out, whether it be political news, whether it be other people's problems, fight videos, and things that are just, I have no business watching, things that get into your brain subconsciously that you think are just, that you're not taking on, making sure that you're not taking on the problems of the world. And not just the problems of the world, but also in, you know, your personal relationships, taking on the problems of other people. You know, I'm a great friend and I try to be there for my friends and try to be there for people, but I really don't have friends who burden me with a ton of stress or that have a ton of drama that's going to stress me out. And I'm not surrounded by people like that. And it's just not the way that I live my life. And also watching TV, like, you know, I love a true crime for entertainment purposes, but things that are going to worry and stress me, I will not watch. Even if it's a movie that's fictional, I want to feel good. I want to be entertained, but I also want to feel good, and I don't want to feel stressed, and I don't want something that's going to get into my head, even a horror movie that's going to get into my head and stress me out. That's just not, you know, stress is a very big factor in the way that you look. If you know anyone who's stressed, I promise you it shows up on their face. You can only put on so much makeup. You can only have so much Botox. You can only put yourself together so much, but the stress will still show up and cause you to look ugly. It's just, it is what it is. And I know it's not possible for a lot of people, but you can, there are things that you can do, like I said, what you consume, because what we consume, we're consuming so much information constantly on our phones and on TV or wherever, like so fast with technology, that it does cause stress in and sometimes in angst, and like our shoulders are up and you don't even know, like relax your shoulders, like, because you're holding on to that stuff that it just was subconscious. And so I try to do things, whether it be meditation or things that, you know, are going to add joy to my life. And those are just some things that I wanted to share with you guys as to how I basically Looksmaxxed. I know that's like a thing that's running around, but I just thought, you know, I basically did it without even thinking about it, without any surgery or procedures. Now, there's tons of other things. Now, imagine how fine I would be if I actually had some surgery. I'm kidding. But you know, I'm just saying these are some tips and some things that have worked for me. Do with them whatever you want. Use them or not. But thank you for watching. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Make sure that you like, comment down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.